Former Exeter City youngster Ethan Ampadu looks set to make his debut for Chelsea tonight in the Carabao Cup against Nottingham Forest. For many Blues fans, this will be the first chance they have to see their summer signing in action. But he has long been hailed as being a big prospect for the future, winning the Express and Echo's Young Sports Personality of the Year award in 2014. And is known to have had trials at Manchester United, Chelsea and Liverpool earlier in his career, with both United and Liverpool rumoured to have offered him a contract. Yet despite being wanted by some of the biggest clubs in the land, Ampadu decided to stick with Exeter in order to complete his schooling. Indeed, he did not play as regularly for the Grecians last season as he may have done due to still attending school. Eligible for Ghana, England and Wales, Ampadu played for both youth teams before tying his colours to the Welsh Mast and turning out solely for their youth sides, including under-19 level. Image. Pinnacle. The past year in particular has seen Ampadu shoot to prominence, with the youngster seemingly unfazed when training with Wales's Euro 2016 squad prior to Chris Coleman's side jetting to France. Despite this, City boss Paul Tisdale refused to be drawn on whether the talented teen would be a part of his plans for the then upcoming season, meaning it was somewhat of a shock when he became the Grecians' youngest ever player, aged just 15, when he started in their EFL Cup first-round victory over Brentford in August. He was awarded Man of the Match for his performance that day in a display that Tisdale was full of praise for, comparing it to veteran Matt Oakley, going on to state that the teen was only playing because he was in the school holidays. Incidentally, despite playing in midfield throughout his youth career, he was fielded in the centre of defence for the game, rendering highly rated Brentford striker Scott Hogan anonymous in the process, allowing his ability to read the game to come to the fore. That's the remarkable thing. He's not necessarily a centre-back, Tisdale said. He's one of those players that can play in 4 or 5 positions. I'm not sure what his best position will be and nor probably will he, but that also tells you what a good player he is. Often these 15 or 16-year-old players who come through early tend to be, as a sweeping generalization, a quick sparky winger where you're not risking too much by playing him. When it's a centre-back, you have to trust them. And the biggest compliment I could give him is that he plays like a 35-year-old. He plays like Matt Oakley. That's not normally the English way. The English way is that we like drama. We like spark and instance. But we don't often encourage and cultivate class players. Quote, with City having an injury crisis in the centre of defence during the early part of the season, he was a semi-regular for the side, consistently impressing, including against Premier League opposition in the form of Hull City in the next round of the EFL Cup. Image. David Rockcliffe. Throughout this time, he continued to represent Wales's under-16s and under-19s sides, also winning Wales's Young Player of the Year award for 2016, a prize that had previously been scooped by the likes of Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. As City's defensive injury crisis began to ease, Ampadu found himself playing further up the pitch, where his intelligent ball-playing skills and driving runs became somewhat of a trademark, as well as not shirking from tackles against men at times twice his age. Throughout his impressive performances, he was consistently linked with moves to higher clubs, with Arsenal and Chelsea the two most frequently mentioned, and pictures surfaced of him and fellow Grecians youth player Jack Sparks in Chelsea kits after a trial at their Cobham training ground. Yet Tisdale, who carefully shielded the youngster from the spotlight by banning the media from speaking to him, was adamant that Ampadu's development would be best served by staying in Devon. I'd like to think there's a substantial period of time where playing in our first team is going to aid him with his progress," he said. "He's a fabulous young talent. He's committed himself to us over the past couple of years when he could have left us earlier to go to another club. The variables change at so many other clubs. You might sign for a club at 17. But by the time you're 18 the manager's gone and everything changes. But here there's been a very consistent approach. At least, you know what's in front of you." Quote, as Ampadu approached his GCSEs, his playing time with City became more limited as he made just 3 appearances between October and April, although he was memorably booked for time wasting when just a substitute in a 3-1 win over Cheltenham Town in December. Image, Getty. However, his appearances for Wales's youth teams continued, to the point where he was included on the standby list for Chris Coleman's side's World Cup qualifier against Republic of Ireland in March. Whilst he did not make it into their full squad, Tisdale said it would not be long until the 16-year-old would be named in the senior squad. "I think he's in their picture going forward," Tisdale said. "So if it's not this time, it will be another time. He's got a big future ahead of him and I don't think he's a one-hit wonder. I don't think he'll be in 1 minute, out the next. I think the Welsh FA have appreciated him and decided early that he's going to be a very important player for him over the years. I think it's his first of many situations and when it does eventually happen and he does get included in the Welsh senior team, there won't be too many surprised." Quote, so it came as no surprise that, after 3 more impressive appearances for City, he was included in Coleman's training squad for a trip to Portugal ahead of their crucial qualifier in Serbia. The summer proved to be a pivotal one for Ampadu, who departed the Grecians for West London for a compensation fee yet to be announced. Image, Pinnacle. He appeared in the Blues development squad in pre-season, impressing supporters, and has so far fared well in Antonio Conte's youth setup. Despite his lack of senior football in 2017-18, he was still called up to Coleman's senior Wales squad for their World Cup qualifiers in September, where he was twice an unused substitute as fellow teenager Ben Woodburn grabbed the headlines. However, Ampadu has been involved in training with Chelsea's senior squad, and now looks set to make his debut for the first team.